Hi everyone, welcome to Club 1 episode 4 of Rolling in the Isles, an FM22 British Isles Journeyman series with me, the United City FM. Welcome along. So I've actually come back slightly earlier than we originally planned to. We've not come back to play a league match. We're in the Northern Ireland Cup against Dundela, who are a team in the division above us. So I thought it was an interesting challenge to come along and have a look at. In terms of the league position, well, it's been all right. Let's see how we get on today. Welcome back to Limavady. Here we go into another episode, and we have come back for the cup match against Dundela in the fourth round of the Peaky Blinders Irish Cup. I love that cup sponsor name. That's fantastic. But if we go and have a look in the league before we focus in on the cup, you can see that recently we've taken a big dip in form. We were up in and around this top part of the league, and at the moment we're sitting down in 5th position on 16 points. So we're only 2 points behind the leaders at the moment, who are Dollingstown. It's a small league, isn't it? So it's going to be okay, I think, to keep us in contact with most of the bigger sides in it for most of this season, and then hopefully we can find a way to just jump over a couple of them as the end of the season approaches. But the reason that we're sitting down in 5th is a fairly bad run of form, unfortunately. If we go into the schedule, the last time you and I were together was against Distillery in the league. We got a 2-2 draw. Really mad game that one was. After that one, we played Armagh, who were one of the better sides in the division, and we beat them 1-0. I thought we were onto a winner here. And then it just went off the rails, and in a pretty big way, to be honest. We got 2 draws and a loss in the league itself, which is all right. We're inconsistent. We're not quite the finished article yet. I understand that. The big defeat came against Ards Rangers in the Intermediate Cup. We got beaten at home 3-1, and Ards are a team, I believe, that are below us in terms of leagues. It wasn't a good day. It was a really tough fixture. For whatever reason, the players just didn't show up at all. In the middle of a bit of a poor run, it went even worse, really, and that has caused us problems coming out of the back end of that. Now, today, I don't really expect us to get a result, if I'm totally honest. A team above us in league terms, they're in the 2nd tier of Irish football. We're in the 3rd tier of Irish football, so I expect them to kind of beat us today. But I really wanted to come back and see how we compete, because hopefully, either this season or next, we will be up in that 2nd tier ourselves, and we will have to see how we cope with that. So I thought it was a good idea to come back for that. So league form isn't great. Cup competition gives us a distraction for that. We've got to find a way to change our form around. Can we upset the odds? Let's find out. So after this game, if we lose it and we continue a couple more results that don't quite go in our favour, this 4-4-2 set up in a custom style that I've made, I'm going to have to change it up a bit, because ultimately that means it's not quite working. At the moment, it's doing all right. We got a couple of draws recently, as you saw, but those couple of losses have really put a dent in us. So for today's match in the Cup, because we're playing a higher league team, we've made a couple of changes out of necessity. Devlin is out for today, and also Tolland is out for today. But mostly, we've got our main first team 11 in as much as we can, and we're just going to see if we can give this one a go and stay in the Cup competition. So, for the match against Dundela in the Cup, we're going with Wells in goal, Mullen at right back, McKeever at left back, McMullen and Watt in central defence. We've got McCallion and Harkin in central midfield, King on the right, Brennan on the left, Mullen and Pomeroy up top, and a 5-man bench of Grimley, McIver, Harkin, McCloskey and Coleman. So let's get into today's game and see what happens. So there's no point in putting the players under a bundle load of pressure today. So we've gone very chilled out in the gesture that we've used, hands together, and just said we've got nothing to lose. We know how good we are. Let's show everybody what we're capable of, and we'll see whether that's good enough. Just at the start of the match, can I encourage you, if you're enjoying the series so far, and the numbers on the videos have been pretty good, which is fantastic, but if you're enjoying it, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and join the United City community, and also click a like button on this episode. That'll help it to continue to grow and help me to move forward with it. That would be fantastic. Make sure you also check all of the links in the description below. All of my social medias there. Twitter, Discord is in there. Don't forget, I'm also over on twitch.tv/the United City FM every weekday afternoon here in the UK at 3 till 5 p.m. So come and check me out. We're doing an interesting Glory Hunter, Nordic Glory Hunter series over on Twitch called Road to Valhalla, started in Norway. So come and check that out as well. But for today, we've been under the pressure a lot in this first few minutes of the game. 6 minutes gone, and Dundela are obviously the slightly higher ranked side in terms of their league and their quality of player and all that kind of stuff, and generally just the size of the club. They're obviously in a better place than we are just at the moment, and they have put us under a little bit of pressure early on. But here was a chance for us to clear the ball from the goalkeeper and put them under pressure. We don't really do it. We went over the top of all of our players, gave it straight back to them. That's a really good bit of work by King, dropping back in off that right wing to get involved defensively. The ball goes over the top. We've got a chance. Oh, and we hit the post. Mullen through on goal down this right-hand side of the penalty box, sweeps the ball across the goal, and it's inches away from giving us an early lead, really. And Dundela, are they going to make us pay for it? We get a block on the cross. Really good defensive work so far, but we've seen a lot in FM22, I think, that corners are a little bit overpowered again, especially for me at that near post, although I've seen others say that it's the same at the back post as well. So it's always a little bit nervy when the opposition have one. And they didn't need the corner on that occasion. That's a worldie of a strike, isn't it, really? Taylor puts it over on this side to Kerr, and he drops it in, and eventually the ball goes down the side of that left central defender for us, and the striker pulls away from him just to give him some space. Watch that movement away from the defender. He is onside, and it just gave him a little bit of space to swivel, and he absolutely blasted the ball in the back of the net. And the goalkeeper just stood there, wasn't able to move at all. And unfortunately, at 19 minutes on the clock, we go 1-0 down. They're playing 3 at the back, 4 in midfield, 3 up top. We've seen these kinds of formations quite a lot. 4-2-3-1 has been around as well, but the 3 at the back is one that we've seen. I was always kind of hoping that playing 2 strikers against them, we might get some joy. But so far, it hasn't been the case in some of these matches. King gets a chance, though. Pomeroy, the number 1 striker for us so far this season, he gets a header at goal, but it's straight down the sights of the keeper, really. Doesn't really challenge him too much. And we stay at 1-0 down. 37 minutes on the clock. Can we win the ball here and counter-attack? We can't. Faulkner gets through on goal, and he just about gets held up by the defence. His first touch let him down a little bit, and the chance goes begging, but it does go out for a corner. And the corner comes back out to this near side, and then it goes out for... I'm not sure what happened there. But anyway, the highlight goes, and that's all that matters. We are being as competitive as you can kind of expect us to be. In terms of defensive terms, we're looking strong and solid most of the time. Offensively, we've created some chances. We've had 6 shots at goal, 3 on target. They've had 10 and 4. Their XG rating is double ours. They've had a bit more possession as well, unfortunately. But overall, I think we're doing all right. How do we change it from being all right to more positive, though? I'm wondering whether we do something quite brave and we sort of match them up a little bit and go 3 at the back and 3 up top, and then launch it up there and see whether they can cope with that. It's a bit of a tricky decision because I don't want to get absolutely hammered, of course. I would like to go through in this cup competition. That's the point, really. But how are we going to do that? We're 1-0 down. Excuse me. We either stick or twist, really, at this point. I think I'm tending towards twisting, to be honest, and seeing what we can do. So Let's go in, hands together. No, let's not go hands together. Let's pump the fist and prepare them for a second half onslaught. I know we're underdogs, but we can salvage a draw from this match yet. We're only losing by 1 goal. Let's go with that one. And then we're going to go into the tactics. We're going to do this. There's no point in us being passive in this second half. We're 1-0 down. They're going to beat us if it stays as it is. So we might as well give this a go. So we're going to take Mullen off at right back and put a defender on and make a 3-man back line. We're going to take McKeever off at left back and put Coleman on. And we're going to move him up alongside Pomeroy and Mullen up the top. We're going to put Pomeroy in the centre though, just because I think that's where he's going to work best. We'll bring Grimley into the centre of a back 3. If it will let us. Who's it going to put in there for us? No. Oh, this happens to me so often. Drives me nuts. There we go. Finally. So we're going to move Watt up a little bit. And we're going to have him as a stopper. And we're going to drop Grimley back a little bit as a cover. Just so we've got a better shape there. We're going to make these wingers more attacking. So we'll do that down the left and the right hand side. And the centre can stay the same. We've got a 3-man front line. I want to drop Pomeroy just a little bit deeper. Hopefully these two will win balls a little bit and he can approach the play just from the top of the box and power a few shots in. That would be helpful if he could. And we're going to go route 1. We're going to just chuck it up there. We've got no other alternative really at this point. There's no point in pretty football if it's not going to really work for us. So we're going to take it out of cautious and put it into positive and just get on the front foot. Keep piling those balls forward as much as we can and seeing if Dundela can cope with it. And of course, if they can and they counter-attack on us, then fair play to them. But we've got to try something, so it might as well be this at this point. And we will see how we get on. A little bit of possession at the back, which is good. So the minute you play Route 1, you start playing tiki-taka at the back. That's Football Manager all over for you, it seems. But so far, we had a little bit of possession. We're still really trying in terms of the challenges that we're putting in. We're trying as hard as we can to defensively try and win that ball back, which is encouraging. It's now just about getting a little bit of good fortune somewhere. And why are those strikers not making the same run as the defenders at that point? When they can see the ball going further over the top of them, why are they not moving onto it? Why are they staying where they are? That's unfortunate, really. Happened a few times to us so far when the ball goes over the top, that the defenders go, oh, look, it's going over us. We'll move back and we'll go and win it. And the strikers don't think, well, if they're moving backwards, we're going to follow them. I don't get that. But there we go. Anyway, a good win again in central defence for us. Header was good from Grimley in the centre point to win the ball. And we do go up top. And there's Pomeroy getting involved in play. Gets it back again. I'm a tactical genius. I told you. We're going to win balls. And Pomeroy from the top of the box is going to be the final push for getting the goals. And it kind of worked out. He was involved in the play. He heads it on. Coleman gets there to then put it back in the centre point for Pomeroy to blast it home from the top of the box. And we do go 1-1. That is fantastic. I'm really kind of shocked. But okay, we'll take it. Hopefully what we're doing with playing slightly more attacking wingers is keeping their wing backs back and pushing them further back and not giving them an out ball as easy as they had in the first half, potentially. Let's see how that works out. Oh, that's a shame. Straight over the top. And we've let a goal in really quickly. And again, it was just those moments of people just falling asleep a little bit and not really following the run. If you see, the striker just swivels and runs and the defender gets sucked in. And at that point, you're at 6s and 7s, trying to find a way to stop what's been going on ahead of you. And it didn't work out for us, unfortunately. And we do go 2-1 down. And the blasted shot off the drop off from the free kick goes over the top of the bar. So we are back down to a 1-goal deficit, unfortunately. But we've shown enough in this second half that we can be dangerous given our moments. Where is that goalkeeper doing? Where is he going, should I say? Not where is he doing? Where is he going? He went way out of his area to sort that ball out. And they're working it again down this right-hand side. A good block again, but there was nobody there quite to pick up the loose ball for us. And again, they come back at us down the right-hand side. They drop it back for the cross to go in deep, and it wasn't as much a cross as it was just a drifted shot in the end. And we do eventually claim the ball. 66 minutes, we're going to make a couple of substitutions, see if some fresh legs can come in and help us find our route back into the game. Mullen in the striking position, struggling a little bit. Of course, we've only got one more change that we can make because we made those two already at half-time. And it kind of has to be Mullen that we take off. I mean, look at his conditioning. But the problem is, I don't really want to take off a striker, really. So what we're going to do is we're going to put McCluskey in, and he's just going to have to play down the right-hand side up front. And we'll play him as a deep-lying forward, and therefore we'll change up what Pomeroy is as well. So we will make him more of the... what do I want to make him? Let's put him in the poaching role in that centre spot. And we'll try and see if McCluskey can drop in and get involved in the play a little bit. So that's what we're going to have to do. We're going to keep everything else the same, though, in this second half. I mean, we've done pretty well, really. So let's see whether there's one more chance in the last 20 minutes of the match, just to see if we can find our route back into the game. Dundela on the ball again down this right-hand side, though. They've worked a lot down this right-hand side. Deep cross straight at the goalkeeper, though. The header comes. That's important for us. There was a moment there where I thought the headed cross, the headed option at the back post is always a bit strong as well. And I thought we might have struggled at that point, but we didn't quite. It was good. Harkin on the ball, drops it back to Grimley, back to Watt as well, getting involved in the play, holding on to it, drawing Dundela out just a little bit to then go over the top. Pomeroy on the ball, Coleman with the shot, but we weren't quite high enough up to be able to properly get something from it. Let's see if we can change that for the last few minutes. See if we can push our line of engagement up a little bit more, because they're only on standard. So we're going to raise everything just a bit. We're going to make the defensive line higher. We're going to put the line of engagements much higher, and just see if that helps us to get a couple of opportunities in the last few minutes of the game that's in and around the penalty box a little bit more. Again, we've got a free kick, so it's our highlight so far. Goalkeeper goes over the top. We lose out in their defensive area, though. Striker did go up for it, but we didn't quite win it. And the defender clears it nicely. Macaulay down this right-hand side again. Look at that space. That is ridiculous. That is the first time the second time. We lost a goal earlier where they weren't really at the races, the defenders. But that was one of the first times where you look there and somebody has made a huge error. The guy has just stood in the middle of our penalty box on his own, and that should never happen. Even at this level of football, that should never happen. And it did on this occasion. And again, it's a chance for Dundela to build up again down this right-hand side. They've switched it finally over to that left-hand side. So the defenders over there have now got something to do. They drop it back to keep possession. There's a chance for a shot, and he puts it narrowly wide. The shot that they took after the guy was found in the middle of the penalty box, the reason why he was there possibly was because he was offside. But even so, still not impressed that he was allowed to be there, really, in that situation. What with a really good attempt off the free kick, a swerving free kick off that right foot, nearly caused the goalkeeper a problem, but not quite. We're going to win that ball very, very easily. So can we make the most of it? We try to go down the right-hand side for McCluskey. He tries to win the ball back. He's pushed them back into their box, but they've had to clear it. And that wins us the ball. That mistake from them there just gave us that chance. And if that's not offside, we'll see. I think it might be. That's such a shame. It was a really good bit of play. McCluskey wins the ball back for us brilliantly by causing them to make an error. Pomeroy just off the shoulder of the last man, couldn't quite hold his run. Brennan follows that up now with a free kick that goes over the top of the bar. We've really tried in the second half to do something. We got that early goal in the second half that caused them some problems. Can we finish it with another one? Brennan on the far side with a corner kick into the near post. We get it. They get it partially cleared and then fully cleared. The whistle goes. It's obviously disappointing that we lost. It was always going to be disappointing if we lose. We want to have a cup run. Absolutely, we do. But We really tried. It was a good performance. Maybe there's something in the 3-4-3 for us. We'll have to see. The other thing to say is January is just coming up, and I could potentially restructure this squad to bring us in a few more players in a particular position if we're going to try and overload that, like strikers, for example. So let me know what you've been doing. If you're in the lower leagues of any of your leagues that you're in, let me know what's worked for you. Have you been playing 3 at the back? Have you been playing 2 up top or 1 up top? Have you been overloading the midfield? Have you been working down the wings? What have you been doing that's been working so far in FM22, specifically in the lower leagues? We're in the 3rd tier of Northern Ireland. There's no point us trying to play the tiki-taka, for example. But what sort of setup should we be using in terms of formation to get the most out of us? Anyway, just an aside, let me know what you think in the comments below. And we're going to have to move on from another defeat. But actually, this time round, it was a pretty good performance, especially in that second half. So, fortunately, our young striker Mullen is only out for a couple of days with a bruised foot. So that's not too bad at all. It could have been a lot worse. I didn't know what we were going to come back for with him. So let's go into the schedule and just check out what we've got coming up next. So we have got that January transfer window. I am planning to see if I can shift a few players out and just bring in a couple of free transfers that just change the structure of our squad a little bit and give us maybe a couple more options to play. And we're going to come back out of that and see where we get in this last section of the season. It's quite a short season, excuse me, because there's only that 11 teams in our competition. So it's not going to be more than a couple more episodes. We're probably going to come back. What are we going to do? I think we'll come back at the very end of January for the Newington match. I'm trying to find teams that we've not played before. We could come back and play the game in February against Distillery, which is what I would normally do after a January window, but we've already played them on an episode, and I don't want to go too late into February before coming back. So I think we'll play Newington in the next episode, just at the end of the January transfer window. I'll catch you up on what I've been able to do between now and then after that point, we'll probably go to the end of the season and play Moyola Park as the last game of this particular season, and we'll see where that leaves us. But just at the moment, we're on a little bit of a poor run. Well, we're on a poor run. There's no two ways about it. We've got to turn that around. It's going to be a little bit tricky, but let's see if we can do it, and let's see if we can improve this squad in January as well. So come back next episode, and I will fill you in on all of that. Remember to go and subscribe to the channel, click a like on this particular video, go and check all the links in the description, come and join me on the Discord and all that kind of stuff. Until next time, though, take care of yourselves. I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.